Evening guys, this is part 2 of my RPG tutorial, but part 2 is going to be broken up into a bunch of separate small videos so that I can run you through exactly what it is that I'm doing and what I'm trying to accomplish. So to run you through this, I think I'm going to start off with the flow of my RPG mechanic model. Well, I just call it my RPG mod. So what I'm currently doing here is I have a reference to my total XP, and I have an unchanged event on this now. What's going to be the best way to process this? So this is my primary XP reference. My XP reference is linked up to my level reference, and it's linked up to my required XP reference, and it's got a reference to my HP as well. So in every room I have an XP counter, so when I enter the room I set the value for my XP counter to what I want the enemies in this room, how much XP I want all the enemies in this room to give me, and they will all reference this counter. So in this case I'm setting my XP reference counter to 45. In other words, every enemy that spawns will give me 45 XP. I also set my currency counter, which means every enemy I give will give me a certain amount of currency. In this case I'm assigning 50 credits for every enemy killed. So when I kill an enemy, I add to my player resource, and that will then reference my wallet. I don't actually need this. I don't actually need that. So this little process here, every time I kill an enemy, it adds to my wallet, which is the amount of currency I have. Now the wallet is the currency counter that I set when you enter every module. My total XP on change. So what happens is, as you see here, enemy on killed, I add XP counter to my total XP. When that changes, I check, okay, is the number greater than or equal to, so in other words, is total XP greater than or equal to required XP? If it is, I add 1 to my level. When my level changes, I set the check set health to true. Explain that in a second. When my level changes, I multiply my required XP by 2. In other words, to get to level 1 will be 100 XP. To get to level 2 will be 200 XP. To get to level 3 will be 400 XP. To get to level 5 and so on. Okay, so it just makes sure that every next level's gap to the next XP point will increase exponentially. When my level changes, I add to my HP reference. Now, the HP is referenced at in percentages, and I'm using a player proxy modifier to set the player's HP reference. Now, the only way you can do that is by using decimal points. So looking at the image in front of us, the 1.2 means 120%. 0.05 means 5%. 0.5 is 50%. 5 is 500%, and so on. So that's the only way you can reference it. And then what happens is, on change, I just play that sound. Now, this is where it got a little bit tricky. So every time I check this, every time I tested the number, I would start this iterator. Now this thing is running constantly, all the time. So every time that thing starts checking, I initiate the repeater. So the repeater tests whether the check set health was set to true or false. If it is set to true, okay, if it is set to true, I set the modifier to the new HP value that was incremented over here. The moment that thing checks and is set to true, I set that modifier, then I give myself 100 armor and 100 HP just to fill my bars up because I leveled up. So it's a nice little bonus to get. And then I set it back to false, which means these checks here, this one, this one, this one, will only take place once I level up and it sets the boolean to true for that split second, does the updates, and sets it back to false. Over here I've got some variables that I stored. So whenever I want to create my store locations in the map, I can just reference these strings here and their costs. So there you go. That is a very quick rundown. Oh, and these are the other floating variables that I've got. So this is the check set health variable, the XP counter variable, the currency counter variable, and the ammo capacity variable. Now this ammo capacity variable is what I set when I purchase. So every time I purchase an enemy capacity, I increase this number by 0.10. Once that increase takes place, only at that point do I actually then update my character's capacity using this reference here. But yeah, there we go. That is a quick rundown of the updated RPG model that I'm currently using. Now this element as it stands here, everything in this room will apply to most mechanics except for when enemies are killed and are involved. So yeah, I hope that helps. I hope you guys, I'll be hopefully finishing this off in the near future, and then you guys can download it and use it, modify it, manipulate it, change it, create your own maps around it. So let's see how that goes.